This recording deals with the 4 possibilities of the universe. Now there are only 4, you may as well face it. Speaking of a standpoint of somebody who is intellectually honest and rational, and possesses sane faculties, there are only 4 possibilities. The 4 possibilities are: number 1, the universe came naturally. Number 2, the universe has always been here. Number 3 is an imaginary existentialism. And number 4, it came supernaturally. Now you name one that I didn't mention. Bible teachers, I've heard them for 2,000 years. You tell me all about it. They won't teach you these possibilities in the schools or the textbooks. There are only 4 possibilities. Now as we talk about the universe, let's mention 2 universal, demonstrable scientific facts. The first and second law of thermodynamics, established by physicists. These have all been demonstrated over and over and over and over again, and no one has ever demonstrated them to not be so. Law number 1. Energy can be transformed in various ways but can never be created nor destroyed. You can turn matter into energy and energy into matter and expand energy, but you cannot obliterate it or destroy it nor create it. That's a law. It can be demonstrated and proved. Second law states there is always entropy in a closed system, and less energy available, and less energy to work with. This loss of energy is known as entropy. It means since you can't get rid of energy, there's always less energy in a closed system over time. That means unless an outside force enters to fight against entropy, you are a closed system. Now our universe is a closed system. Nothing is leaving or entering it, nor is there anything sustaining or upholding it. This is according to a naturalistic perspective. This entropy means that things break down, wear out, get rusty, moldy, disorganized, deteriorate, die, or degrade over time. If you leave something in a room for 100 million years, you know what will happen? It'll rot. You know why? Because as time goes on, there is entropy, and energy is used up. This can be proved unless you deny an entire observable, demonstrable, empirical fact of life. When you pump iron in a gym for 30 minutes, you have less energy left to pump iron with than you had when you came in. You understand that concept? Things break down and degrade over time unless you act upon it as an outside force. This force fights against the universal phenomenon. Now, if there's no energy to add or inject into the universe, it's a closed system, like how every evolutionist will swear on Darwin's grave that it is. Then this universe is running down. Now that's a scientific fact. Now this leads to our proposition. How did reality get here? By that I mean, here we are listening to this video. How did you get here? How did the video get here? The trees, people, animals, grass, dirt, how did it all get here? Now like we said, there are 4 answers, and no man will give you another possibility. If you ask any man in the world, you'll get one of these 4 answers if he was intellectually honest with himself. Number 1. The universe came by inanimate matter naturally. That's the evolutionist theme. It came naturally by a big bang suddenly. Now if they don't believe that, then they'll take the one that matter is eternal. Those are the 2 views, and there are 2 more. Number 1. It came from inanimate matter naturally. Like combination of the matter, gases, chemicals, liquids, and dirt. It came together naturally. You want to know the chances of that happening? 0%. The first possibility is denied by the first law of thermodynamics, that matter cannot be created nor destroyed. So this possibility isn't even in the realm of science. Matter cannot create itself. Which leads to our second possibility. Number 2. The universe and matter has always been here. This is denied by the second law of thermodynamics. You say how? If the universe was eternal and existed in eternity's past, everything within it would have turned into a colorless, tasteless, odorless, formless, shapeless, gray soupy mush at least 900 times 10 to the 29th power years ago. That is 900 times 10 with 29 zeros after it. That's not even a drop in the ocean compared to eternity. Everything would have turned into a gray soupy mush in eternity's past, and the fact that it isn't proves that matter isn't eternal and hasn't existed forever. You'll say, well, if it came together and formed a Big Bang, okay. Why isn't everything a soupy gray mush still? I mean, it's a closed system. You know what you'd get if all that matter came together and got super hot? You'd get a hot gray mush, stupid. You wouldn't get a universe. Nothing can sustain it or fight against entropy. Now the second law goes against the evolutionist life argument as well, that we slowly organize into a living protein, which isn't consciousness, which is impossible if things tend towards disorganization. That is a law of thermodynamics established by physicists. Now number 3 is an imaginary existentialism. It's just imaginary. Now this violates your sanity and is a definition of an insane man. And drugs can produce the same thing. We prove our existence by forces, momentum, and energy, and work. The fact that we can generate a force, momentum, and energy proves that we have some sort of existence. Now number 4, the universe came naturally. This is the exact existential, pragmatic, objective, scientific account found in the 1611 authorized King James Version of the Bible. This doesn't contradict any scientific statements at all. We believe that an intelligent designer who has dominion over everything and over all the laws of physics spoke everything in the universe into existence. You say, how do we know he's intelligent? Well, he cannot be unintelligent because we see differences between stars, matter, people, animals, elements, and particles. You'll say, why the God of the Bible? Well, someone who's intelligent does not create something for no reason. He has a will for creation in man, in which he would want man to know his will by messengers, prophets, and even coming down from heaven and manifesting the flesh, or maybe even a book by his own spirit. And this is evident with 25,000 ancient manuscripts about the New Testament. You're dealing with history. Now, there are only 3 religions that claim the world has been designed by an intelligent designer: Christianity, Judaism, and Islam. Islam believes in a creation account by Allah, who doesn't even have a name. Who even is Allah? Allah means the God. What's God's name? The God. Oh, you have a dog? What's his name? The dog. The Quran can't even get its creation story right. One verse says 6 days, the other one says 8 days. Which one? How about that for a holy book? There are over 40 scientific errors in the Quran, which are all swept under the rug. Atheists tried to prove that the Bible is scientifically incorrect, and 8 court cases later, they didn't prove nothing. The Jews believe in the same account, but not the same God. Our God is Jesus Christ, who said, before Abraham was, I am. That's the name of the Christian God, I am that I am. If we take the Old Testament to be true in the creation account, we would find 48 prophecies about one man who was fulfilled by the Messiah named Jesus Christ. The odds of one man fulfilling 48 prophecies which were given 400 to 1,000 years before he even showed up is 1 out of 10 to the 157th power, which is 1 out of 10 with 157 zeros after it. If we take the Old Testament Jewish account to be true, and we do, then Jesus Christ is Lord and God, due to mathematical, scientific, computerized statistics. Jesus Christ is God who created all things if we believe the Judaism account. Where we differ with Judaism is who Jesus Christ was. We believe that Jesus Christ was God manifest in the flesh, and they believe he was a phony. So we see how the authorized King James Bible comes out on top. Now we find 5 scientific statements found within Genesis 1:1. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. We see in the beginning time, God created energy. Created is also motion. The heavens, space, and earth, matter. We see all 5 of these things come in at once. Genesis 1:1 debunks all philosophies, polytheism, atheism, evolution, pantheism, materialism, fatalism, Hinduism, Buddhism, and etc. Now to recap, we see 4 possibilities of the universe. The first one, it came naturally, which is denied by the first law of thermodynamics. Second one, the universe has always been here, denied by the second law of thermodynamics. Third one is an imaginary existentialism that violates a person's sanity and can be proven false by physics. 4, it came supernaturally, which is the most scientific account found within the King James Version of the Bible.